We talked about this, and I was like, when I found out you weren't a huge Bulls fan, I was like, well, that's interesting.
Makes sense. Yeah.
And
you are,
to
right?
me. Yeah. It just didn't. The only reason why I am is because Hawaii doesn't have a NBA team, and I had thought about it, and I was like, oh, how come Hawaii don't have teams? And then one of my friends told me it would just be way too expensive for people to fly out and stuff, and so I was like, okay, that makes sense. Who do I pick? And then Rose. When Rose got drafted to the Bulls, I was like, "That's
what really made you a fan, huh? You're the Derrick Rose era."
Yeah, yes, yeah. It wasn't the MJ era, which I don't. It's not that's to say I don't appreciate it, but it was a Rose era with Joe King, the old guys.
The irony is my son Jordan is a Bulls fan.
That's so weird.
Like he rocks Bulls gear. He likes Derrick Rose. His name is Jordan. He's named after Michael Jordan. So he's a Bulls fan. He's a Bears fan.
What in the world?
He's like I probably imprinted that on him somehow.
But now
But I'm always been a 49er fan. Yeah. I was on the fence with my NBA team. I was more of a growing up. I singled out a player, and that would be my favorite player, but I never like housed a team for myself. Until the Warriors, and I really just liked the organization, the way they play, and so the Warriors, before they won their first championship with Steph Curry, me and my wife were, I was trying to get her to watch Niners, and she hates football. She just. Yeah, that's just not her thing, not to watch, and she just, no matter what, it just doesn't work, right? But basketball, she loves. Mm-hmm. She loves basketball, and so, I was like, all right, let's see if, she was like, what? We need to find a team, and so I was like, all right, let's watch a Bulls game and a Warriors game, because at the time I was a Steph Curry fan, going along with the NBA players that I follow growing up. I think my first one, when I really fell in love with basketball, was Sean Kemp.
Oh, bro, Sonics.
Yeah, I mean, I can't dunk for nothing, but the way he brought it, dude, I was just like, I had a Sean Kemp, number 40, Seattle Supersonic jersey. I used to rock. That was my guy. But then when Anthony Hardaway came out.
Oh, come on, Penny.
Penny, I was like, and I started like trying to imitate his game. Because I couldn't dunk, so Sean Kemp was like, young, watching somebody dunk. Yeah. Entertaining, but Anthony Hardaway, Penny, man, the way he played, I could actually play or imitate that or work to play like that. So I was really attracted to his play, the way he passed. I mean, he could dunk at things, but just the way he operated as a point guard, I loved it.
It's kind of crazy how people wouldn't understand how nuts they were, or like how skilled and how really good they were, because now I don't know, some guys I look at some comments sometimes and I'm like, bro, these guys don't know, like they don't know who these guys are, and they don't know how good they were and whatnot. But back to Steph Curry, how did you find out about him?
I was watching, I don't know if it was like highlights. So during the season of my life when I was in the Navy and then came back to Hawaii and got out, there was a part of me that felt like a failure in sports. And so I stopped watching NFL, NBA, or anything for years. It was just because my experience in high school and college, in my mind, I already believed I was going to the league. That was just, I remember I was shooting around in front of my house on the asphalt in a basketball rim we set up. I've always had a basketball rim since I was like young. My dad set one up at one of our one of the houses in the backyard. Dad. He used to play one-on-one with me.
Hey, come on,
and
man.
He told me straight up. He was like, "Look, you're not gonna beat me. I'm gonna beat you every single time." But he said, I make you a promise. The day you do beat me will be the last time we play.
Oh, dang.
I don't know what that meant, but I was like, I'm going to beat this dude.
Yeah.
So I would practice every single day just trying to and prepare for that one-on-one. And we would play, and he'd kill me, man.
Yeah.
And just create this competitive monster in me. And so that day, though, that I beat him, I think I was like 11 or 12, and I haven't played him since.
Interesting.
True story. So
I gotta figure out what that was about.
Yeah, but I think for me, it definitely lit the match for
Competitive.
a competitive spirit in me to just try to, work really hard to become the best at whatever I'm practicing at. And so I remember in the backyard, I used to just play a game of last second. I don't know if you ever did that, where it's like 10 seconds left on the clock.
5, yeah.
Pretend like you got the ball and then you're trying to look, but they're not open.
Yeah.
So I used to do that like 10 years old. And so that'd be one thing I would do. So, and act like somebody's on me and just have that vision of trying to, get that last second shot. And when I make it, you just act that feelings that should be there. Yeah. I'd create that naturally. And so I used to play horse and just try to master every place in the backyard. So I was just trying to find every scenario and way that I could beat them. And so I recognized when we played, like I tried to pretend, and so I was already, what he was doing and instilling in me naturally was just trying to work hard to get better, right? And to beat something and overcome it. And so to me, I'm thankful for that.
I think we talked about it in one of the older podcasts, but before there wasn't anything to record the games. So you'd have to like actually, go in the living room and sit down, and you have to be there to watch it live. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Do you record your games?
You mean in
I know
high
you're
school
busy, man. I mean, now these days, while you were working on the business, dude, if you guys don't know, man, Richie's always busy, I feel like. So I'm like, how do you have, for leisure types?
Yeah, I definitely, man. So to get back to Steph Curry, I stopped watching sports for a while and felt like, when I was on the asphalt, shooting around one day by myself, I made a promise to myself. And I said, this is what I want to do. I want to play professional sports, like nothing else. This is it.
Yeah.
And so that moment I had a belief system in me. And I was determined to conquer that thought now. That was my new dad I'm facing.
Yeah.
And so at that moment, I think I was 8th grade, man.
Oh.
And I just made this decision. And I remember watching this show or this movie. It was a movie. It was an older movie, Pistol Pete. You ever seen it?
I know Pistol Pete is.
Pistol Pete. There's a movie about his life, and there was a part in there where his parents sat him down and said, we're not going to be able to afford to pay for your college, and there's an opportunity and a lifeline through sports scholarships. So not saying you're any good, but if you are going to find a way, this would be it. So he just had this determination click in him that he was just going to do everything he could to be the best basketball player he could be. And ironically, my parents sat me down and had the same conversation. And so when I watched that movie, it connected with me emotionally, like, I need to be this guy. And so he used to carry a basketball anywhere he went. He used to train on railroad tracks and make sure the ball hit the metal rail. And I became that guy in 8th grade. And my friends used to tease me because I used to actually just go out in the street and try to dodge cars while they're driving by. I'm not joking. People are going to comment and say, he used to do that. But it's true. And so I just had this belief system click in me, man, that I was going to the league. And so when God shifted my lane and that was no longer the course in my path, I think emotionally, not like depressed, but I felt like I didn't conquer that mountain. Even though that wasn't God's plan for my life. Now looking back, I'm like, praise God I didn't go that direction. And I'm thankful for what he's done with me now. And I understand everything. But at the time, when I didn't, get to that next level past college, it did something to me. Like I felt like a failure. And I've always had those struggles or insecurities in my life since then of not feeling like I was enough or like I overcame that or I won, And so I felt like a failure for a long season and trying to fill that emotional void of, affirmation with other things and trying to, even in business, I felt looking back, I've probably made decisions or moves based on trying to fill that void or trying to fear failure. And so Steph Curry, I think, broke something in me when I watched him play at Davidson. And it goes back to, experiencing greatness. And I think the challenge, Ray, and this sounds really cocky, but it's not, is when I used to watch the NFL and watch the NBA, I felt like I could play with them and better than some. And when you have that hurt even more, because it's like, it's like I should be there. This is what I can do that. Like I can do exactly what they're doing, and that used to bother me that I don't have that opportunity anymore, or whatever the case was, and finances was a big one, and there were just a lot of things that I looked back and was like, man, I should be there. And then watching guys, man, I can cross that dude over, or like as a quarterback, I could throw farther than him. It's like all these challenging thoughts I was going through. But Steph Curry now, when I saw him play, I can't do that. You know what I mean? Like that, and he was like at another level at Davidson, scoring 40 plus points, and he looked like a little boy. And and he was taking his team up the chain in the NCAA tournament, and it was just all over the news. That was the moment, Ray, that I was like, all right, if this dude goes to the NBA, I'm going to follow him and watch his greatness, because I don't want to miss something like this in our lifetime, right? Yeah. And so, that's where it started, to answer your question.